Or sorry,
Yeah,
is it when we are reading this book now that you are hearing the full details? Because it's not
yes.
hidden, but it's just that to me, this is the first time I'm reading the full details.
I disagree that you say that it's not hidden, because as far as we knew, even when they were doing the 10 naira note, they were still talking about he's on one of the notes.
500 naira note, he's
on the 500 naira note. Now, if you say that this knowledge is not hidden, why would you promote such a person and such an individual on that note? That note immortalizes him, does it not? That note gives people the impression that this is a man that look up to, does it not? So if you're saying that, we did, I didn't know about this, and I tell you that millions of people in Nigeria do not know that this man was a compromised person, and he was part of the problem that we had as a people.
Well, that makes sense. But what I'm trying to actually bring out is that Nigeria is a place where criminals are rewarded anyway, right? And for what we heard, it's been very useful to the northern dominance of power in Nigeria, right? And somehow, no matter what else he did or what have you, right? To them, who decides whose face goes into the billboard, or goes onto the building, or whose face goes onto the note, the northerners, Abi. So they could be rewarding him in that way. I'm saying that there were actually stories of his business being bankrupted, and the British, maybe not you, but me, I've heard it before. It was not just a major thing. It wasn't a major thing.
It might be easy for you to have heard it before because of what you do. Right. But I'm just saying that people like me on the ordinary,
I think I get that now.
Yeah. If it's all we can see is that he's on the news and people he's a hero, right? But we don't understand what kind of hero he is. He's not a hero to us. He's a hero to the people that use him. You understand what I'm saying? He's a hero to the North because he allowed them to be what they are today. Otherwise, somebody would have thought, okay, with somebody with any integrity, I would rather go to prison than be one of the reasons why my people are not free, because we should have been in this contraption called Nigeria to start off with, right? So there are a lot of things. As you were reading, I was writing. So they drew a line between, just drew a line on the map and said, okay, this place belongs here, this place belongs here, in order for the North to.
And now see what they did with the North and South Cameroon.
So originally we should have had parts of Cameroon, and from somebody wrote on the chat, parts of Benin Republic as well,
yes.
Which I think is the southwest. So you should have had a larger south region.
Very massive southern Nigeria. Very massive.
A massive southern Nigeria. Do you know what? I keep listening to all of these things, and I'm just, it makes me angry. I'm really angry because why do we continue to actually honor these boundaries? It's part of the problem.
You know what they say? I think this thing that we usually say here is now making sense to you better now, Charm, that if they explain Nigeria to you and you are not angry, they did not explain it better.
No,
I think it's making sense to a lot of people Nigeria.
Now. I think explaining Africa as it
generally, if they break it down for you, what this guy did with Africa, Nigeria and all these places, and you still smile and you are not angry, they don't explain that well. They did not break it down.
I think it's gotten to a point where we really need to be, the agitation shouldn't really be it should be actually the non-recognition of these boundaries, because they did not serve Africa in any way. Who they served are the people who dropped the boundaries, right? They don't have to live here. They don't have to live here. They don't have to live with the outcome of the lines that they've drawn. We are the ones that have to live with the outcome of the lines that they have drawn, of all these boundaries that we should never really have had. I think it's even come to the point where, I'm always saying it to you that I don't think the right strategy is actually going to the United Nations to plead your cause. No. Because they're part of the problem. They will never be the solution. They will actually take their cue from the British, the Americans, the monarchy, who still have a vested interest. What I'm even still trying to understand is, why were they so keen to hold on to Nigeria, this geographical entity, just the way it is? Had they discovered oil at that point in time? That's one. And then, had they also
No,
have like
they just knew that Nigeria is so rich in resources that the
the
empire is going to need for its own survival in the future.
I don't. No, it does. That doesn't make any kind of sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense anymore. We know that it doesn't.
Think
anymore.
about it.
They found other means of, they found other means of still asserting influence on Nigeria, wherever that pays them. At least not until not until 2020, right? Not until 2020. More than 40 to 50% of the crude oil or the oil that the UK people used comes from Nigeria. And we all know how discounted that must have been. We all know some other things that they must have covered up to get all that much. And I'm talking about things they've been taken since 1940s.
But when you're reading this book, doesn't it make you think? Because I'm thinking to myself, why hold on to something that, what made you so certain that you would find something there? There had to have been something going on in that region that even it hasn't been documented, because you don't expand all this energy to hold on to a place if we are not 100% sure that there's something.
And your influence over us is actually a negative one, a backward one. I mean, you can have influence over people and say, oh, that's British influence on them. Oh, man, look at that place and all that. It looks like a British society. Should Nigeria society look like British society?
Very, very fast. I'm not even
sure that what is that influence that British has over Nigeria for all these years that even British can say they are proud of? Listen, I've met a lot of British people that said they are not proud of all this. But just like me and you, to them, there's nothing they can do. So what is the influence of British over Nigeria? What is the British influence over us that is positive and not exploitative?
Exactly. In fact, you answered the question. I don't think that their influence over us has ever been to raise us up or to, bring us to a point where we can be just like them. It has always purely been exploitative. I think my question is exactly what were they trying to exploit? Because they haven't found oil. And to the best of my understanding, yes, we had agriculture, but was that enough to carry on with that influence? When did we know that they had things like gold and even uranium? These were after the fact. This was after the independence. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what my interest now is to really understand the reason why holding on to this region and creating this region was so important, that they had to do all of this, cloak and dagger business of trying to find corrupt people to put in certain places so that they can carry on with their influence. Was it on the chance that, maybe they will find something here? Do you understand what I'm saying? So that is still a question mark for me. And then, like you've been talking about, like the boundaries and everything. Somebody, I think Martinelli was speaking. I said, well, we don't have a destination. We do have a destination, actually. That destination that we need to get to is independence. Independence in the true sense of it. That should be the destination. Self-governance, autonomy over our resources, autonomy over even our education. That is our destination. That is where we need to go to. That is where we need to be marching towards. So I think what we have to start, and I think I said it the last time we spoke, is the critical thinking around how we get to where we need to go to. Because obviously, if we're waiting to appeal to the West or these people and that other, they're not ready to let anything go. They still need our resources at the end of the day, and they still want to get it cheaply. They don't want to have to pay a lot of money for it.
They will never pay the real value for it. No.
And keeping us uneducated, that is another strategy that I see with the West, with a lot of
they became so angry that the educated natives were making some progressive demands. Like, really? Hi.
Anyway, let me let other people call. But I mean, I really, really appreciate what you're doing, especially with this book. I'm actually going to go and get it just so that I can read. But it's really, really an eye opener. Thank you so much for what you're doing.
You're so welcome, Charm. You have a good one. Okay, thanks a lot. So that's our lady there, Lady Charm, joining us, this morning. But I do have another caller. Meanwhile, just so you know, okay, we only have just about 20 minutes to go. Yeah, 20 minutes to go. So please, we can make it sharper and quicker too for others. Hello there.
Yeah, hello, Maya. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm all right, Mayago. How are you today?
I'm very well, sir. Thanks for asking. Please.
Mayago, honestly, this reading today is breathtaking. And when I say it's breathtaking, it boils down to understanding the fact that we are completely in a mess. We are completely submerged in this total mess because where we are at the moment is not very likely we are going to come off it because it is clear that the government of where we are living is really causing all the hassles, all the troubles we are having in that country.
They are the puppet
really,
masters.
yeah.
You know that they are the puppet masters who are like playing the hands of our ruiners in Nigeria. They are the one playing the hands. Yeah.
To be honest, I can find no fault amongst all the ethnic, whether majorities or minorities in Nigeria. There was no hatred, no atom of hate, division from day one. They planted all these things,
They planted that division. They planted that everything that we are battling with.
They used us against each other. They look at how they used Azikiwe against Awolowo. Look at how they used Awolowo against Bello. Look at how they used Bello against Zeke. Look at how they used Zeke against Bello.
Together to achieve one aim.
And in all this they did, they have one target. The target is to make sure that this independence that are about given to us will not stand as independence. And the moment they try to do that and see that, yet we still have some smart Nigerians in the form of Awolowo himself, who try to understood them at some point. They changed the game again.
Yes.
Look at how they put in the military boys. Look at how they got Ojukwu in.
Yes.
Look at how they got Demoyoga, all those guys in. You now see
those who
that
are still going to go play a bigger role. See how they brought them in, right? And they are still going to go play another bigger role. 10 years later.
So what these guys are doing is that whatever you see happening today, any moment, any slight altercation between the Nigerian citizens and the people in power, they will use military straight away. That was what they learned from these guys.
How they brought the idea of quota system to military in Nigeria. Did you see how that happened too, right?
Good. So with all these things on the ground, we are far from getting our freedom. We are far from making Nigeria work. I am not kidding you. We are far. We are really far from working out the way Nigeria can progress further. You see all these, let's form political party, let's do this, it's not gonna work.
No.
To be honest, we will either have two options, either for the whole of Nigerian populace to go on the street and hijack their government by themselves, or we have committed military intervention that will relinquish the power to the Nigerian people. You understand? We are not going to die if we ostracize ourselves of international help. We are not going to die. We can work out our salvation.
With them has not given us anything progressive.
We can work out and they know this, and that is why they are not giving us any breathing space. Look at all the expositions they did about the current leadership of our country, Nigeria. Look at all the things that happen within all these electioneering campaign. Look at the visit to Chatham House and all these things. They saw. Good. They knew all these things, but because they still have their targets, they still have that thing they have implanted long time ago. Yes. So I will be honest. I got, after listening to this reading, my strength was sapped away because I can see no solution. I can see no solution coming very quickly.
That means you have sat there and you thought about it so deep. Maybe for example, sir, maybe for example, you have been one of those who are like, I didn't grow up in this hateful country. It wasn't all like this. It was no, I mean, like all of us do talk today, right? But now reading all of this, now you now realize that our foundation is actually hate and division, sha. So where are we going to start from changing that? I get you, sir.
Listen, you know, I don't really call all the time, but I am ardent follower of Maegu because we started this race long time ago. You know, even before you expand to this level, you will remember Bishop anyway. That's my name. You remember.
You know, thank God that we don't look like what we have been through now.
Yeah,
true. You remember that kitchen time? True. It's been a long time.
Yeah. So now, for you to imagine a British citizen who was, you know, how do they call it, extraordinary rendition, and eventually unlawfully detained, eventually, you know, somebody who has passed all the legal accusations against him and still in incarceration up to now. You understand? So, good. That is to tell you.
Do you know what I wanted to say that? Do you know what I wanted to say that?
Good.
That somebody is a Nigerian from Nigeria, is British, okay, and he got kidnapped in Kenya.
Good.
And it all felt like normal.
You know, that is just to tell you they don't want to, you know, by chance, take out the foundation of what they have instituted in Nigeria till now. They cannot, because they know that movement will cause that kind of uproar where they might lose out from what they have always instituted, you know. So I am worried. I am big time worried because there's no magic that is going to happen in our own time.
Let me pour a bit of a very cool ointment into that your worried heart, sir. Okay, you know, one thing about things like this is that a lot of us who have been angry, and we're angry at ourselves, some of us don't even know why. Books like this and histories like this give us clarity. Watch out. More people that will get to kind of read more about this or get to hear this, they stand a chance of controlling how
the division these people have planted, it has you know, rooted so deep.
It's so rooted.
So deep. You understand? Look at somebody like Asari Dokobo in the Niger Delta area, who will forget about histories like this only to be facing the Igbos. Look at, you know, just look at, go to Lagos, they will forget about what has, you know, banded us, and then, you know.
See, what I found in this story, you know these divisions that nobody has explained to us about why the non-Igbo Easterners suddenly are always up and in arms against the Igbos when a Biafra conversation is discussed, right? Now we know that this whole thing didn't even start with Ojukwu. It actually started with Azikiwe, who wanted to be the leader of a Western region and Eastern region at the same time. He removed Yoita and his government. And these are people who are like from the minority of they're like, no, you know. But today people will tell you Ojukwu oppressed the minority, but they remove Azikiwe.
Even Okotiebo, they mentioned as well.
The rest of them. See all those hatred of that time that a lot of us have inherited today.
It's too much, my brother. It's too much that something, I don't know how we can dissuade ourselves of all this.
No, this is how we will dissuade ourselves. By telling ourselves the truth, right? And then encouraging ourselves to... Sorry, go on.
It's gonna take ages. It's gonna take ages, my brother. It's gonna take ages. Because what we needed a more instant action to solve Nigerians' problem. But this way only is gonna take ages because the right people can never come closer to the power where they can disseminate this information for people to really imbibe it. We are only doing this. Yeah, it's very difficult because we need somebody in the circle of authority talking like this so that people can now begin to listen and probably be able to get like minds, especially when I said in the military. We need people like this in the military who will have this at the back of their mind, who will have this at the back of mind, who will now come up and say, you know what, let us damn this shit and take care of this our corrupt leaders, because they will first of all find out that these guys, yes, let us deal with it once and for all. But otherwise, they will always push us into tribal, into this is religion, this is that, and that is always productive for them anytime they try to do that, So that's why when I'm telling you, it pains my heart because I cannot see that solution coming very soon. That's where it pains my heart. But if for this truth to be said, you are doing so well to disseminate, bring out this truth, and we are still supporting, because as I listen and hear, I will spread the news as well, talking to people. But however, we need an instant action. We need an action that can come quick. Honestly, otherwise we are perishing already. We're gone already. We're gone. Anyway, thank you very much, Mayegu, and I'll meet you up 8 o'clock tonight.
We will see you tonight, right. Of course. Thank you so much for that. And indeed, we have, I think we should come to or should I take one more? Let's see. Let's see if I could get us 5 minutes call in. Give me a second. I don't think I could get that then. Sorry about that. If you are making effort to call in this afternoon, our time is so out, and I've only got just about the space of 3 hours to get us ready for the evening. Okay, so I want to say thank you. I will continue from where we've stopped today. We will continue tomorrow, and hopefully we'll start early enough. I will try and start early enough. Or 2 p.m. Okay, but if I don't, just meet me here 2 p.m. UK Niger time. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for your time. I will see you later when I see you. Thanks a lot. 2324. By the way, thanks for your super chat too. I didn't say that early enough, right? But thank you. So, good afternoon.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun Diary political. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn làjì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí Facebook
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí YouTube
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Presido bá rúfin o
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràgì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Ayé
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
ha kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀.